You are a low-ranked palace woman in the imperial court. You are living inside the emperor's palace compound. You start as one more low-ranked girl in silk, easy to pass, easy to forget, so you make yourself useful before you can make yourself important. A sharp answer lands, a small task gets done without being repeated, and the old emperor remembers your face once, then again. That tiny notice changes your life immediately. Doors open a little sooner, servants listen a little harder, and you stop trusting favor alone long enough to learn who carries messages, who hears quarrels, who can warn you before a smile turns costly. The little rise does not hold. The old emperor dies, and the court that had just begun to see you closes over as if you were never there. Your jewelry is taken, your place is stripped down to ritual, and you are sent out with the women no one intends to see again. The shock is not just loss of comfort. It is how fast your whole future can be folded away by custom. Even so, the habits of court stay in your body. You keep your posture, your patience, your memory for names, because being discarded does not make you empty. Then the ending breaks. Contact comes from the new emperor, first as a possibility, then as a summons that pulls you back through the opening you were never supposed to get. One day you are living where stories go to stop, and the next you are dressed for the palace again, with people around you suddenly careful, curious, and watchful. The return gives you more than access. It teaches you the price of vanishing once. So when affection reaches for you again, you do not sink into it. You step back inside already measuring who will hate your return first. You come back already watched from both sides, so you stop trying to look harmless and start knowing things first. A maid from one household repeats a kitchen quarrel. A eunuch from another mentions who was kept waiting, and soon you can answer the new emperor before he finishes asking. He lingers because you are useful, not just pleasing, and that changes your rooms at once. People arrive tense, leave relieved, and more disputes bend in your direction because you can turn whispers into decisions. That usefulness hardens into leverage when your body begins to matter to the future. Pregnancy lifts you out of the soft category of favorite and into something the court has to calculate around. Servants who once tested your mood now count your meals, watch your steps, and bow lower because an insult to you can become a gamble against the next heir. When you bear children, your place stops resting only on the emperor's glance. Every cradle near you raises your rank in practice before paper fully catches up, and every promotion makes the women above you react faster, sharper, less carefully. Then a nursery crisis tears the inner court open. An infant is dead, grief turns instantly into accusation, and you do not let the moment drift into private sorrow. Suspicion climbs upward. Old resentments suddenly have a target. People who served confidently the day before begin protecting themselves with new stories. The empress loses the steadiness that used to shield her. The favored rival cannot hold her own ground while the court recalculates around you. One falls, then the other, and the title at the top of the women's quarters is placed on you. The change is immediate. Seals, petitions, marriages, punishments, access, matters that used to pass around you now stop in your hands first. Faces that once measured whether you would survive now study how to survive you. And before that new height can settle into comfort, the next problem is already arriving. A title can lift you above the inner court, but it also makes every eye ask whether you can hold more than a title. Now that you wear the highest title, you stop treating the women's quarters as the center of your reach. Your attendants begin screening who gets near the new emperor, which memorials reach him first, which complaints wait, which names stay in his ear. When he hesitates, you already remember the province, the family, the earlier promise. He starts turning to you not after the audience, but during it, and officials notice fast that pleasing the throne increasingly means passing through your rooms first. That changes the court's habits. Men with thin pedigrees and sharp gratitude rise because you pull them forward. Old houses find doors that used to open smoothly now sticking in their hands. Petitions, appointments, pardons, reprimands, too many of them begin carrying your shadow. Removing you no longer threatens only your household. It threatens careers built through you, punishments ordered by you, and the chain of favors keeping half the bureaucracy in motion. Then the new emperor weakens, and what had been whispered becomes visible. You sit closer in audiences, hear more, answer more, and the shock fades simply because business keeps needing to be done. Ministers start shaping proposals for your approval before they are even read aloud. A decision can now survive his fatigue if it has your backing, so the rhythm of government shifts around your endurance, your memory, your willingness to decide before anyone else dares. That still leaves the princes, so you move there next. A son who looks like an escape route for other people stops being safe the moment he starts acting like one. One air is lifted, another lowered, and every faction that hoped to outweight you has to come back and bargain again because no future settles without your hand on it. Even your children cannot become independent centers of power without risking their place. By then, disagreement stops feeling like argument and starts feeling like exposure. An official speaks too boldly, and suddenly there are questions about allies, letters, visitors, money. Informers multiply because advancement now comes from proving zeal, not just obedience. Men who once opposed you in clean phrases begin bowing more carefully, accusing each other first, and while the court learns to fear being noticed by you, another accusation is already moving toward its next target. Now you make power look blessed as well as feared. New language gathers around you in court. Flatterers wrap your authority in omens and sacred approval, and each ceremony leaves less room to call you a mere woman behind a curtain. What used to feel like intrusion starts feeling official, then proper. So when the new emperor dies, the court does not snap back without you. You keep the seal moving through your sons, one on the throne, then another when the first starts reaching for a will of his own. You are no longer surviving palace turns. You are deciding which emperor counts. Every succession that passes through your hands teaches the court the same lesson. Rule continues because you allow it to. After that, hiding behind a mail front begins to cost you more than it protects you. You press officials to declare themselves, alter titles, reorder ritual, and force the language of government to meet the truth of your position. Some families choke on it, but others rise fast because you open the road through service instead of old blood, and soon too many careers, appointments, and hopes are tied to your favor to imagine peeling you away cleanly. Your relatives do not get everything, which makes the arrangement stronger, not weaker. Clerks, exam men, investigators, provincial officials, men with no ancient house to shield them. They advance because your order has space for them. They carry your decisions outward, report inward, and make the state feel less like inherited property and more like a machine that runs through you. Then the last pretense falls away. Disagreement edges toward disloyalty because there is no longer a safe distinction between serving the dynasty and serving you. Decrees land in your own name, ritual bends around your presence, and fear, advancement, doctrine, and surveillance begin reinforcing one another without pause. By the time anyone imagines removing you, they are no longer picturing a palace correction. They are staring at the need to break and rebuild the whole order, and even that thought is only just starting to move. Now the court reaches you through fewer hands, and that feels efficient at first. The old channels that once argued, delayed, and watched each other get replaced by a tight ring of favorites who can turn your nod into an appointment before the ink dries. Your rooms grow quieter. Your orders move faster, and for a moment your life gets easier because less resistance reaches your ears. Then the east curdles. Every petition, rumor, and favor has to pass through the same narrow gate, so resentment stops scattering and starts concentrating. Princes begin measuring your bad days. Ministers who used to fear speaking now trade glances over who is being kept outside your door. You lean harder on the people closest to you, and that choice gives everyone else the same target. Your body begins changing the rhythm of rule before you admit it. A postponed audience becomes two, then a pattern. Court business waits on whether you rise, whether you speak long enough, whether the men beside your couch let someone through. The struggle is no longer over titles alone, but over access to your face, your seal, your next breath of attention. So your enemies stop attacking you in the open and cut at the shield around you first. Accusations gather against your favorites, then officials move together instead of one by one. News reaches you late. Answers come back slower. Corridors that used to open at a word start filling with hesitation. You try to command the center by tightening your grip, but the grip itself has become the proof that too much depends on too little. Once your inner circle breaks, your invincibility breaks with I do. The men who time their patience to your weakness push in, remove the favorites, and present obedience as rescue. You are still there, still the source everyone has lived around, but now each order has to fight its way out through hands no longer yours. And while they press you toward surrender, the next question is already opening beyond your fall.